Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. August 28th, 2023. I just had to click on a video. I know I've done several here these last couple of days. I'm on a video kick, I guess. But there it is. There ain't nothing sweeter than coming out here and moving one group of animals and having this much animal impact and this many cows. And I find myself wasting so much more of the day now that I have all these girls together. Now the days that I build fence, man, I am humping, I'm going. I build fence all day long. I get sunburnt, but it makes it all worth it on these days when I can just come home and lazily come move the cows and the sheep, and then you get to see them all go through all this and spread out and quiet down, and all you hear is the sound of the grass ripping off, and the sheep just kind of go out and they find what they like, and the cows find what they like, and it's just such a pretty sight. And it's so much less work. I just got to figure out a way to make this happen all year round, and I'm kind of working on it. We always put the sheep and cows together. The last 3 years we put the sheep and cows together after the calves have weaned. We wean the calves, first grass. We usually make one rotation with the cows, wean the calves. Now, those are May-born calves. They're pretty much weaned, but we separate them from the cows, put them in with the sheep because it's the same fencing requirement. Run them as two separate groups in the early part of the summer, and then this time of year we've been putting them together because of weaning the calves. In the future, I think I would like to try to put the cows and the calves in two different groups, even if we just bale graze the calves and left the cows on the heavy use pad. If that's what we had to do, we would tear up a little bit of ground, but that's okay. Get them good and weaned. The only problem we've run into, though, is if we put them calves back with new heifers, we've had heifers take calves back. So we got to figure out how to mitigate that. Either we get rid of the heifers first calves so that they don't do that, or we just watch for it, or what we do, I don't know. But life would be so much easier. Now the other problem with having them all together in the early part of the year when the grass is really tall is that the fencing requirement is so much harder with that tall grass. And I've even considered getting a small brush mower for the four-wheeler to be able to mow a path. I've considered a crop roller to roll down the pasture. I do it with a four-wheeler now. It's just not a big enough space. I need a bigger either roller or mower. I hate to mow because you'll be able to see those mowed spots for the rest of the year and maybe for years in the future. Rolling it doesn't seem to do that. Now a crop roller for this size is about $3,000. I don't know that it's worth it, but it sure would be worth a try, and I could always sell that crop roller if it didn't work to another garden producer. I'm out here watching the pup. I don't know whether you guys can see the pup and the dog, but this paddock gets us in trouble because the neighbors' houses, the other dog goes to visit, so I'm kind of watching them. But anyway, it would be so much simpler if they were all together all the time. We worried about the dogs and the calves, but we've had calves with the dogs in there, and the cows are really cautious of the dog anyway, and they run the dog off. So I don't know that that's an issue. I just got to work on it some more and figure out how to make it work. So there's a little spotted lamb right here. That's Ethan's project lamb. Good to see he's still with us. So I guess I stood up off the four-wheeler. Hi, Petunia, how are you? Good girl. So the other thought of the day is, so this is what they just came out of. And that probably right there is the worst spot because that's where the water trough was. There's a lot of forage left here. Probably enough that I'm going to be sorry. I wish I had just left them here a couple more hours, but I never do. I always move them 24 hours. If I make the mistake, I move them. If I make the mistake and I'm out here twice a day and it's too short, too little, then I'll move them at twice a day. I got another habit a couple years ago. Even when I come out here and say they could stay for another day, they don't. They go. This will be here. It takes grass to grow grass. This isn't wasting grass. It'll be here when I get back. We can change the paddock divisions next time. Make it different. Make it smaller. Make them use it better. This is just something to write down and catch it the next time. A lot of what they left is fescue. That'll all be standing here in the fall. At least Ethan's show heifer is going to go through all winter on stockpile grass. So this can be a place that she can hang out. But this, so you see most of the clover is eaten out. A lot of fescues left. Orchard grass is eaten. The Italian rye that's in here is eaten. But this is what we're leaving behind. So it may look like a lot in the video. It ain't much, but we're leaving it. So we just kind of lazily go through. It's something we started 2 or 3 years ago. When we started putting the sheep and cows together, we couldn't set anything aside for stockpile. So we decided we're just going to run everything through, and what's left behind will be our stockpile. What's not left behind will be eaten. The cows and sheep tend to eat the new and succulent and vegetative stuff, the clovers, the orchard grasses, the things that aren't going to stockpile anyway. So let them eat that. Let them leave the fescue standing behind. We'll graze the fescue later. Now this is all going to change when we have the other farm online, because we'll be over there this time of year. The sheep will probably stay here, and we'll probably do the same thing with them then that we're doing right now. We'll just rotate them slowly around the farm, let them clean up the clovers and the weeds and leave the fescue behind, and we'll graze the fescue for the winter. That's the plan, at least. So it's just I so enjoy this time of year when I get to slow down a little bit. Not that I ever get to slow down, because it's breeding time in the hog barn. It's time to breed sows for show pigs, so I spend a lot of my time there. I spend a lot of time cleaning up the house that I didn't get done in the last month or two. Actually mowing the grass and doing all those things. But it's a special time when I get to slow down and kind of watch things a little bit closer and go through and look at cows, and I'm not running as hard as I run at the beginning of the year. So it's just fun to stand back and take a look and quietly see how things are going. There's the pup, old Jasper. If you notice, he's got blue coat on his neck. It's because he cut his neck, so we've been spraying him with blue coat and giving him medicine. You also hear that him and Petunia don't get along, but Petunia's the best trainer we got. Scarlett's here somewhere, probably not where she should be. She's the worst trainer, but that's the puppy's best friend. So we've got to mitigate that here in the coming weeks. We've got to figure out how to keep Scarlett in and let Petunia do most of the training once we turn him loose. He's not normally loose. I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a panel pen in that field. I haven't moved it yet. We'll bring it over and put him in it. That's what he's sitting here waiting on, is for his treats for coming to the panel pen. So I better get moving. I gotta go turn the water line on and move water trough and move his pen and get him medicine and do the heat checking. It's hard to also remember that it's getting dark earlier, so I don't have the time that I used to have to stand around and see things. So with that, I'll say we'll see you next time.